Welcome to Drop Dead Georgia. Today we have a very special guest, of course, all the way from Brooklyn, New York.
New York.
The city's so nice they named it twice. Brooklyn and New York City.
Brooklyn.
New York.
New York.
Today we were joined by host of Chapo Trap House, Will Menaker. Hello, Will.
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here, though I must correct the record at the top of the show. I am broadcasting to you now from the state of Massachusetts, not Brooklyn.
Wow. Okay.
But you know, it's okay. I know I'm associated with Brooklyn's own Will Menaker, the captain of the borough, Eric Adams, specific Brooklyn. I've been appointed Brooklyn ambassador for all podcasts by Mayor Eric Adams. They've reached out, and I'm happy to promote. I'm happy to do some promo on behalf of the borough that I live in.
He bestowed some secondary swag.
He gave me a crumb of his swag, and I think it's rubbing off.
He's got a lot of a homeless problem to deal with everybody in the Beggar's Cup asking for just a little crumb of swag, Mr. Mayor, please.
Yeah, got to clear those out. Nothing to spare.
Yeah. The homeless encampments are being cleared out, but fear not. All of the people that they round up will be relocated to swag camps just outside the city limits.
Swag centers.
Emergency
swag centers.
Just opening up more room for clubs known as like Sphere, except it's all in lowercase, with kind of a nice rounded off font.
Well, Will, as much as I'd love to continue talking about the greatest city on earth, you were recently on a tour of the American South, which, as we all know, Georgia is in. So
we're in it. We're
in it right now, but you were in it earlier. How did you find it?
We had an absolute blast on the tour. I mean, every city we went to was fantastic, with the one exception of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh yeah,
the Queen City.
What went down in Charlotte?
I mean, like the fans are great. The show was fine. It was our first stop on the tour, and I'm glad that was the case, because it would have been rough to mix it in with the superior cities. It was just Charlotte as a city is very, very bland. It's just it doesn't seem like it's just
there's not a lot going on.
There's all this. Yeah, that whole research triangle thing. It's a city without much character or feeling to it. And you know, like I think I said this for the show, but like the first night we were in Charlotte, we went to some sort of like fusion barbecue restaurant, which was, you know, it was good. It wasn't a bad restaurant at all.
Yeah, what was it fused with?
It was Korean barbecue, but not Korean barbecue like where you cook it at your table, and it's American barbecue, but like infused with Korean flavors like kimchi and stuff like that.
Okay. That sounds like I said, wouldn't be bad.
No, it was good. It was good. Like it was a good restaurant. I was happy to go there, but just another restaurant. And then our first night in Atlanta, we were escorted to a dubstep rave at a converted church.
Yeah.
So Atlanta really kicking the shit out of Charlotte.
Did Aaron make you do that?
No, this was another fan of the show that was sort of it was sort of a rave Sherpa.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was funny. I was wearing a collared shirt, and I was like severely overdressed because like every man and woman there looked like Joker and Harley Quinn.
I mean, that is kind of what you find in like the Atlanta art scene. I've found is that like, you know, there used to be like Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Now we have like the Machine Gun Kelly and
Megan Fox.
Yes,
we have the Joker.
Yeah, and that's sort of like we have a lot of that going on in Atlanta.
I was sad to be not in attendance for the Atlanta show. Unfortunately, I had to get married.
Yes,
I think that's a pretty good excuse. Thank you. It was a good time. I made sure to tell everybody during my speech that I really, really, really wanted to be at a podcast live. But I had prior commitments. I have a new family. You know, it's just
they hook you up with a family.
It's a part of growing up. You know,
you could have asked the DJ to put one of the live shows. You know, like on the like just for your first dance or something like that.
That would have been great. Yeah, swinging to the sweet sounds of Matt Christman's voice.
Yep,
with my newly betrothed. Well, in Atlanta, we also met at my favorite, maybe Pete's favorite as well.
I think so at this point. I mean, I don't go much anywhere else now.
Our favorite bar, Elmire, in the beautiful neighborhood of Little Five Points. And at that point, I think you guys were just about to leave the next day, but Well, how did you find Elmere? I really love that place. Shout out.
We kind of have to mention Elmere because
they're a sponsor of the show.
Yeah, they're essentially they're like a third character.
Yes.
When you think about it in the over of our lives. So how did you find?
2 thumbs up. You know, they can blurb me on that if you want. I thought it was a great bar.
Perfect.
Thought it was a great bar. Good food. I had some sort of spicy fish tacos that were good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
And I enjoyed that it's right across the street from, I believe, a former public school that's now like condos.
Yes. That is a.
It houses one of our favorite people, Phil, who is the saddest man on earth, and I believe he lives in what used to be the vice principal's office. Because I'm serious. They've repurposed that building, obviously, but like they didn't change a lot of the layout of it because there's one apartment that I never saw the inside of, but to get to it, you have to go backstage through the auditorium.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I had actually. That's not the first converted school like into apartments that I've seen in the like small range of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like.
If I lived in that building, I would be like, if I lived in the former vice principal's office in that building, I would always be like seething at the person who had the principal's office apartment.
Oh my God, absolutely. You got to get that apartment.
Yeah.
You got to move up.
See, that's what I've been missing from the apartment life is like rivalries and just the, do you live in an apartment?
Do you have neighbors
Yeah,
that you have a rivalry?
I live in an apartment building. Yeah. Well, my neighbors are my landlords, so
the ultimate
it's a
rival.
Co-op building. Yeah, the ultimate
God.
rivals. No, but actually they're very good people. I actually have a great relationship with them. But yeah, it's a co-op building, but I'm essentially renting from people who own 2 units in the building, and they live right across the hall. So we rent their property that they own. But yeah, it's a nice building. I like it.
Bit.
Where? What?
I had a little spot in New York for a little bit.
Where were you staying?
I had I was in Bushwick. This was like around I want to say like 2015 or something, 2014.
Sure.
And I had a little closet that my actual room was the top half
of the
closet.
Oh, you were on the top shelf.
Yeah, I was dropping $900
Nice
a month for like half of a closet.
You get a parking spot?
Well, yeah.
You got a parking spot though
for the absolutely essential vehicle.
Yeah, of course.
That I needed in New York.
After Atlanta,
yeah.
Where did you guys go next in the South?
Nashville.
Nashville. See, okay, I can speak on that to some degree. I had a brief year living in Nashville or the Metro Nashville area. I hate Nashville. I'm not a fan. I probably feel like that place about you or the way you feel about Charlotte. Couldn't stand it. But how did you like it?
I had a great time. I very much enjoyed Nashville and their hot chicken.
I was going to ask if the chicken was hot.
And their genuine sort of honky tonk vibes that they curate in that city.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different. Go ahead.
I did like the neighborhood that your guys' bar was in, though. I thought it was a nice neighborhood. Yeah, I thought it was very pretty, and I also really enjoyed visiting the Videodrome.
Yes,
Videodrome.
Big shout out to Videodrome. I think I had
that
gone
place
there.
Place is a palace. It's a palace to movie mindset. I love what they're doing there.
Oh, it's a delight.
What were your big scores at Videodrome? Do you remember what you got?
Oh, I bought one of Paul Verhoeven's first movies on DVD. It's one of his Dutch films called Spetters. And then I think I got a copy of The Aviator and I think 48 Hours. So I racked up a couple DVDs. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy the last time.
And Michael Mann's Last of the Mohicans. I got that too.
Yes.
He did Last of the Mohicans. All right. Well, now I got to check this one out.
You never saw Last of the Mohicans.
Okay. Here's the thing. My parents used to play the Last of the Mohicans soundtrack in my house.
Yes, I can. Oh my God, I can hear it. I can hear it right now. Yeah,
and they had that. They had Braveheart, and so these movies I knew to be like orange.
Your parents really loved sort of soaring, kind of rousing.
They were really into
scores.
guess, period piece epics.
Yeah.
And I think I've mentioned this on the show. They also introduced me to classical music through classical music for home improvements.
Not the show Home Improvement.
Wait, so
Yeah, exactly.
wait, so okay, so this was classical music you were supposed to put on in the background while you did some like light electrical work around the house or
Exactly.
something?
Like if you're using power tools, this is the classical music to listen.
Yeah.
It really
I just
turns
want, like,
this old house into this old home.
It was just like absolute bombast. But like for some reason, I guess I had like Last of the Mohicans like pigeonholed in my mind, in my mind's eye, into this place where I wouldn't have associated Michael Mann, but now, because like I'm a recent like convert.
Because you think of Michael Mann and you think of like just sort of like these like nighttime kind of urban dreamscapes, so this kind of like neon hyper real modern world.
Yeah,
but yeah, like this
guys.
is like that was he did that movie, which takes place during the French Indian War, and then he did a sort of a disastrous like big budget World War II kind of horror sci-fi movie called The Keep. That's
The Keep.
I don't remember that.
No, The Keep is
the studio butchered the final cut, but like you see it and like you can see like how much incredibly cool shit is in that movie.
Ian McKellen's in there too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They've got like I guess they take some of the kind of ingredients that make Indiana Jones so good and they put it right into that like horror genre. And yeah, I remember that one being a delight.
And I guess he also did Public Enemies, which takes place during the Depression.
Oh, I remember seeing that. I saw Public Enemies.
Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Johnny Depp plays John Dillinger.
The currently
he's a public enemy right now.
Yeah. Johnny Dalt, more like it.
Yeah. I remember I saw the Public Enemies.
I don't know if you guys like every clip I see of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial just like it looks exactly like the trial of Tim Heidecker from on Cinema.
Like,
absolutely.
Because first of all, because Johnny Depp looks like fucking Manuel.
He's having
this point. He looks
great time. It seems like taking the stand. He's having fun talking to the lawyers.
Neither of them are having a great time. Both of them are coming across horribly in this case. And
but it seems like he's having fun.
Honestly, I think they should get back together. I
really hope that they can, dude.
Yeah, just try and memory hold the entire thing. Like,
why is it
like all of us act like none of it happened?
Why is it in Fairfax?
Was that Fairfax?
Why is the trial taking place in Fairfax? Yeah, that's where it's taking place. Did you know that?
I don't know why.
I didn't know that.
That's the only fair place you can get the facts to come out.
It's like when you read that Johnny Depp is from Kentucky, and you're like, what?
What?
That's not right. That can't be. That had to be a mistake. But it's true.
Did you hear that Amber Heard actually has a favorite doing some PR work for her right now?
Oh yeah.
One Miss Fartlow.
Yeah. I don't know.
Are they dating? I thought that she was like her girlfriend.
Is that what's happening?
Is that what's going on?
I've heard. I don't know the extent of Ms. Heard and Miss Fartlow's relationship, whether she's doing PR for her or whether they're dating. But like in any case, she's not doing a very good job of either because she got like permanently exiled from the court by the judge. She got
kicked out on
for tweeting.
Day.
Yeah, which is like
tweeting. Yeah, it's really funny to read the record of it too because they're like
that's exactly an on cinema thing that would happen. Like,
the judge
that's Greg getting kicked out of the courtroom for correcting Tim about Star Trek 2.
Well, the judge in the record, you can see the judge get like she's texting, she needs to leave this courtroom, and then like I guess Amber Heard's attorney says like, Your Honor, she's tweeting, and he's like, I don't care, she has to go. Like,
she couldn't.
It's
show
actually
her phone
she's tweeting. She's not texting. She's tweeting.
It's not even about the case. It's about like she shows her phone. It just has the word Israel.
Yeah, I'm not even texting. Yeah,
little blinking line after it. She's figuring out what she wants to say. She just knows where it starts.
Moving on. Texas was that the next stop after Nashville, or
we had a brief break in between like the first leg of our tour. We did like the South Charlotte, Atlanta, and Nashville, and then we had a brief break, and then we were back out of the road for the Texas South, which was Texas and New Orleans. So we did Austin, Dallas, Houston, and New Orleans. And I had a fucking blast on every leg of that tour too. I will say though, Austin was comprehensively the least weird city I've ever been to.
I was just about to say, like, how do you keep it weird if it's
they're not really doing a good job?
Not that weird.
And we were there for like, South by Southwest, which of course was,
Perhaps
a fucking
the least weird thing
fucking nightmare. Yeah. I mean, no, like we had a great time with it, but yeah, like that city is like, it's really, it's making a bid to become like, the San Francisco of the South. So if you like the people who live in San Francisco, but like, don't like all the regulation in California. Yeah. And the homeless people. Yeah. Just come to Texas. It's 130 degrees every day, but you won't have to see a homeless person.
God forbid.
It's so cool to think about that, like where Towns Van Zant's trailer used to be is like probably on Joe Rogan's ranch now, and the changing dynamics of what kind of entertainers that they really provide a home for there in Austin, Texas.
Were you able to visit the LBJ museum while you were in?
Yes, indeed.
Oh.
We absolutely visited the LBJ Presidential Library. I thought it was fucking awesome. I thought it was great.
Probably one of the funniest presidents.
Yeah, we caught all the way.
There's
was that?
on the first floor of the LBJ Presidential Library, there is a section of the museum dedicated to LBJ's humor that features it features an animatronic LBJ.
What?
Like pirate. It's a Pirates of the Caribbean style animatronic LBJ.
No,
standing behind the podium, and it's just like he's like doing the motions, and his mouth is like kind of moving in this really deeply creepy, uncanny valley way. But and then they're just like, and then they're just playing audio of him like yucking it up with the press, or like talking about how he wants to finger bang Martha Graham. Like
he rocked. I mean, simply put, that guy rocked. I mean,
I saw his little doodle of Bobby Kennedy.
You see his drawing?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
It looks like a roll call illustration of like a monster.
I had never seen those, and it's they're like the little doodle he did of Bobby Kennedy, where he looks like a complete like gremlin. And then he did a doodle of the Three Stooges, and then one of an octopus. Yeah, no, he had talent.
It would be funny if they found that drawing of Bobby Kennedy in the desk of like Saran Saran after they like went to his apartment.
This is the guy. You'll know him.
That childish little scribble was actually his MK Ultra code.
Yes,
that was his trigger. Like it was like the deck of cards in the Manchurian Candidate. They were just like, here's a drawing of a monkey jacking off.
Yeah.
And then it was straight to the Ambassador Hotel.
I don't think he wrote that note that they did find. He's just like, I'm going to go kill Robert Kennedy at the Ambassador Hotel. My name is, come on now. I have perfect handwriting. Here is my admission.
Yeah. It's
I'm doing this for the Palestinian people. I want to make that clear.
Let that is Bartlow know that when she, in Texas, or going back to the LBJ Museum, were you? I think you mentioned this on Twitter. You were able to listen to the phone calls that he placed about ordering some custom slacks.
Yeah, about
some custom slacks for his giant
his
penis.
bunghole for his giant dick, and he was like
his giant dick and his money and his knife.
Why
is he carrying a knife?
Yeah, he talks to the CEO of Hagar Slacks about like making him custom pants.
Mm-hmm. And
he was pretty goated. And then the call with Martha Graham, where he's like, he's like, the problem with being president is that I don't get to see you too often. And she's like, oh, you. And he goes, he's like, like I'm married, but like, if I was, I'd be like one of them steers on my ranch. I'd jump the fence to get at you.
That's oh
man, he rocks. We recently watched the movie with Bryan Cranston playing him all the way or whatever. It was, I think it was originally a stage adaptation, but then they made the movie. It was pretty good. He does a great job, but like, I guess they have to cover so much in so little time that they have to be like, it's wild how in the first like 3 months of LBJ's presidency, he met with Martin Luther King, Robert McNamara every single day. Like, everything happened in 1 week.
Or I guess Martin Luther King met with Kwame Ture.
Sure.
More like
that casting wasn't quite as good.
Both
MLK and no one really looked like that. But anyway,
my movie recommendation for the best on-screen Nixon is Robert Altman's Secret Honor, which stars Philip Baker Hall as Nixon, and it's Altman.
I love him.
Yeah,
Joe
it's Altman's. Altman filmed. It was a one-man play.
Yeah,
and it's like Philip Baker Hall is the only character in it. It's just like he presses record on like the White House tape recorder.
Oh, okay.
And then and he monologues for like 2 hours.
That's
about, like,
awesome.
his whole life and the Watergate scandal. And yeah, it's Robert Altman's filmed adaptation of a stage play. with
Now-
Philip Baker Hall called Secret Honor.
I'll have to check it out. My brother and I's favorite Nixon, and this might be a controversial pick because he doesn't quite look like him or sounded much like him, but Anthony Hopkins, I feel like nails the vibe of Nixon.
Oh, he gets it perfectly.
yeah.
He's just like
Which one's
he's just
that in?
like
It's
in Oliver
called-
Stone's Nixon.
Yeah, Oliver
Ah.
Stone Nixon, yeah. But the best part of
Hopkins
that
is
movie,
great.
The best part of that movie is Sam Waterston.
Oh, well, that's in the director's cut. Is Richard
The
Helms
black
where his
eyes. Oh
his
my
fucking
God.
eyes turn black.
I love
he's
that
like
shit.
he's fucking Satan himself, which is not far off from the truth.
I love
But
it.
yeah, no, I like Hopkins as Nixon because like he gets like the character and the affectations of Nixon is the way he just stalks around the White House with like a boulder
Just this
on his
creep.
fucking shoulder.
Yeah.
And he just
Yes.
like he's like just sort of like stalks the halls of the White House like a crow on like
Yeah.
an electrical line or something
Yeah.
like that. Like it's just this black cloud. Was my favorite part one of my favorite parts in the Oliver Stone Nixon is when Joan Allen, who plays Pat, his wife, is like trying to comfort him or whatever or show physical affection. He just sort of like shrugs her off and he goes, "Oh," he called his wife Buddy, and he goes,
Yeah, Buddy.
Buddy,
Oh, God.
Buddy." He goes, "Buddy, I'm no Jack Kennedy. I don't need that."
Christ.
No sex.
God.
No sex for me. I'm not Jack Kennedy.
Well,
Buddy.
see, I've got a bit of a populist take because,
boy.
I mean, I, like many people, was introduced to both the individual, the historical figure, but also the filmic character of Nixon through Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Yes, of
and so
course.
obviously that's got to be my favorite.
I think my first impression of Nixon was probably the head that they have in the jar on Futurama Nixon.
Ah, yes.
yeah.
Charleston
Richard
too.
Nixon- Richard Nixon is probably one of our most has the highest percentage of like good performances playing him specifically.
Yeah.
Like another one I really like is Dan Hedaya in the sort of political comedy Dick with Michelle Williams and Kirsten Dunst.
Oh
Where they play they play like teenage hippie girls who become like interns in the White House and
I remember
inadvertently
seeing that
like
one at
Zelig
Blockbuster all the
themselves
time.
into the Watergate scandal. Yeah. No, it's a very good movie. Harry Shearer of Simpsons fame plays G. Gordon Liddy. It's a funny movie and Nixon really, as like American presidents go, is one of the more interesting characters. And Matt has said that Nixon is one of the only interesting presidents because he's one of the only presidents that has mommy issues driving him and not daddy issues.
1
Like
million percent.
Most modern American presidents are like really defined by their daddy issues.
Yeah,
And Richard Nixon
yeah.
was a true mama's
Mama's
boy.
boy,
And
for
he was
sure.
one with he had mommy issues in his head, and that's what made him a more kind of gave him a certain despite being in like a real evil cocksucker, like a certain pathos, like a certain
Yeah,
tragedy
for sure.
to him, and
Dick
also
Nixon-
like a really kind of like sort of self-annihilating drive to best the people that he felt had slighted him earlier in his life.
1 million percent. He was driven by vengeance.
Yeah,
He,
definitely.
The Dick Nixon Twitter account is an all timer. He's the playwright that's like in character the entire time. He's been going for a while, but he nailed it.
I have so much respect for people who are doing like an ongoing bit.
Yes.
Like it's incredible. It takes a lot of work. Well, like it sounds like there's also a pattern of like people doing one-man presidential shows. I think there's there's like the Will Ferrell
did it,
Bush
yeah.
one. There's obviously the Nixon one. There's the LBJ. Who do we still need a one-man show president? Probably.
I'd like to see what Gerald Ford would do all day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but like Ford,
Yeah. Gerald.
Jer.
Yeah. He's practicing the stairs, trying not to do it again. Yeah, anyway.
Well, let's talk podcasting.
Perfect.
You ready to talk tech?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. I love tech.
All right.
What's your rig here? Let's break it down.
We're talking shop.
We're gonna do this lightning round style.
Yes.
First time you heard a podcast.
Yeah. What was your
First
first
time I heard a podcast. Oh, it was the Ricky Gervais show.
Oh,
which is probably like
From what I
that's when
hear,
was
he's
like,
an atheist.
yeah, he was an atheist, but like don't get it twisted. Like the Ricky Gervais show when it was on XFM, when it was on satellite radio, and then when it jumped to like because that was like the first big like podcast. That was the first podcast I knew of. Period.
Mm.
And despite what you may think about Ricky Gervais and his public persona now, don't get it twisted. The Ricky Gervais show is one of the funniest comedy artifacts of
He's
our
funny.
times. And Yeah, like that was like hugely influential on just like me knowing what a podcast is, but also just sort of like just thinking it was something that I could do, and just being, I was just greatly inspired by them, because I had this job where I was like packing boxes for half a day in a warehouse, but they'd let me listen to my headphones and stuff. So I would just listen to episodes of that show like over and over again.
That does seem to be like, I was going to ask, how you kind of became interested, became inclined or inspired to podcast, because I know it's very different for everybody, especially on like even just those small like generational terms, like what podcast even means to any of us. But like it was something that seems to be consistent, especially we obviously come from like the left wing angle of doing some of the podcasts, and it's a certain time and place, but like it's fascinating to hear that like so many people get into podcasting from basically working working class kind of stuff, where it's like, oh, you just have to like depending on how working class is. I
mean, it's one of the most common, like, I don't know, things people say to me, like at shows, or like, compliments people pay me, is they say like, oh, you make my commute
it's
more
true.
bearable, or you make just getting through a day doing working, like just something to listen to, something that's fun, something that like sort of distracts you from the repetitive tasks that you have to perform.
No, you guys and Nick Mullen have probably all like kept me from causing like a 7-car pileup on the freeway. It was,
No, I mean, two of my favorite
of a later era, like back when I was like, it was just like this was long after the Ricky Gervais show, but like I guess like our real sort of podcast godfathers, and the first people who like had me on a podcast as a guest was Street Fight, Street Fight,
yes.
Brett and Brian, like those guys are hugely influential, and they'd been doing it already like on their own, and like that was the one that was like practically they invited me on the show, and it went great. I thought I was like, I was like, oh wow, like I can do this. And like practically they were the ones who like, gave us like the most game, or like just gave me the juice to like think that like, I should just start my own podcast.
Where's it go next? There was already a book. Is there going to be a movie?
There is a movie.
There's the Chapo Trap House movie?
Yeah, there was a documentary.
Oh, I'm talking about like a dramatic.
Well, I mean, we have some ideas. I mean, honestly, like we have some like script ideas we're kicking around. We'll see. I would love to become a Hollywood sicko.
That's great.
Shoot them over to I'm sure Means TV,
and then we got a couple more questions, just lightning round real quick because we know you got to go. But
something I was going to ask about, because like we, again, like I said, we do come from like left wing background. I know that
shout out to Aaron.
Yeah, shout out to our friend Aaron,
and the now defunct podcast, The Time of Monsters,
and how many different it's tags.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is now.
I have to keep following him like every other week.
Yeah,
or something,
trust me, I get it.
Well,
I used to produce a show for him.
He hasn't been banned lately for doing anything. He just keeps forgetting to log in with the VPN on, and then they'll just get him immediately. Yeah, so
yeah.
I'm really upset because his previous handle was my idea, which was Henry Kiss Inward.
That was a good one.
I thought that was great, and he blew it. He blew it because I can't use that one. I mean, whatever. Anyway,
I mean, I did want to ask you something, because I remember Aaron and I used to talk about this a lot. Like we brought Alex in to do like some of our weekly like news roundup kind of stuff that like obviously kind of everybody and their mother was doing 2020 2021, and in no small part due to Chapo Trap House's success and things like Trillbillies and everything like that. And like what I wanted to ask you about though was like, it's a bit more of, I guess, a serious question, but like do you ever feel like a burden of both like the education and the entertainment when you're making your show? Like I don't know if I'm phrasing that correctly.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying completely, and I think I do, and like, because like obviously like when I started doing it, or like what attracted me to doing it was leading with the entertainment and the humor, but like so much of my humor and like the world, the characters we talk about, the people we make fun of, and really like what drives humor, I think to a large degree is anger, is rage. And but like so much of that from my perspective of like the things I think are funny, or the humor that interests me, it comes from like political beliefs and sort of like rage at the the evil that runs this fucking world, and is steadily ruining the country that we all have to live in. But yeah, like I take it seriously because like I never want the show to be like treacly or fucking preachy or like didactic, but at the same time I do feel a kind of sense of it's not like I feel like the importance of like the size of the platform we have, and that like in a current climate, like having any independent media out there is important, but at the same time I can't I understand like the expectations like people have, or but for me it's like it's media, like that's what it is at the end of the day. And media, it's important to have media that you control and that can like reach a like comparable audience to like, let's say, most of the evening shows on MSNBC, or like comparable to what the ratings are, like viewers that they poll, to talk about issues that are just simply, or just provide a perspective that is completely alien to the entire corporate mainstream media, like congenitally so, like this systematically so. But at the same time, like media is not power. Like media, it's an important part of it, but like media, like it can't change the world. And I'm not like I never wanted to like, we have things we believe in, but I just like I guess I feel a responsibility not to get people to invest their hopes into hearing media that they agree with, or that inspires them to do something. It's just like, I'm not saying that's bad, but like, at the end of the day, it is just, media, entertainment, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Like that's what it is.
Yeah. It's tough. Like I didn't know until I started working on A Time of Monsters with Aaron that like there is this expectation of maintaining like this perfect balance of entertainment and education, and like if you're providing any sort, especially on the left, like any educational component whatsoever, that you are 100% serious and 100% like on point like, with that, and this responsibility to do both. And
for the most part, like I've tried to consciously avoid that because I never wanted the show to be described as like educational in any way. Right. But that being said, like to the extent that like the guests that we've had, or the topics like the Steven Donziger, like I think I was able with
Smalls,
the show to Christian Smalls would have had a big profile regardless. But like Steven Donziger is a case where I think that like The Intercept is how I learned about his case, and that like it interested me, and I was shocked that no one else was talking about it. So I figured not like this is an opportunity or whatever, but I was like, I wanted to talk to him because I wanted to know about his case. Yeah. And I think that helped bring a lot of important attention to what was going on with his case, and like what it represents for the future of this country. But that being said, I really always feel that like my number one goal with the show, and like when I feel good about myself, or when I feel like we're doing a good job, is when I'm having fun recording it. If I'm having fun, talking to Matt and Felix and whoever our guest is, if I'm laughing, then I can rest assured I won't have to like doubt myself or feel anxious, because I can always pretty much feel that like if I'm having a good time, I need to be motivated by leading with that, and have the respect for and like expectation, or just that the audience will follow that, rather than trying to cater your content or sense of humor, or the way I direct the show to this kind of like imaginary audience member that's in my head, and what they think is like necessary or wholesome or funny.
At Steven Donziger's party the other night, was that similar at all to when Pauly gets out of jail and they have they play his song?
No, it was actually more. It was more like when Richie Aprile got out of prison,
gets a blowjob in the dark.
I got some Brooklyn girl gives him a beige, and then he's just like, hey. Who's paying you? He's just like, is it him? Whose joint did you just cop? Whose joint did you just cop? Me or him?
Yeah. What's your favorite season of The Sopranos?
I mean, like, okay, like the Richie April season is great.
It's good.
Like Richie,
it's really good.
Richie's my favorite. Like, I think maybe my favorite Tony antagonist. But like, honestly, I really like the last season. Like,
Oh,
I like the later seasons a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
I do.
just like when they like, you know, when they just like they really turn up the volume on like really beating you over the head and making it unmistakable just how truly
he's a piece of shit.
reprehensible
Yeah.
Tony is as a man, a father, a human
Yes.
being.
Every single aspect of his life is just complete dog shit. Yeah. I always liked season 5. I love Steve Buscemi so much, and I have
great.
gotten into. I mean, there are parts of that season that I understand are not the best writing, but you know, I kind of forgive it because I'm like, Steve Buscemi.
I'm there for Joey Pants.
Joey Pants, a big Ralphie head. over
Yeah,
there.
I'm a huge Ralphie head.
What'd you think
And then
on
like
The one blonde character who's not
in
gone.
season 5, then they introduced Phil Leotardo, who I think
That's
is my
right.
other
Ah,
favorite
that's right.
Tony antagonist.
That's
I
fair.
love Phil so
that guy's
much.
a jerk.
He's
mini
a real
Saint-
jerk.
The real jerk, man. I can't believe they didn't have him in the Mini Saints of Newark as a young jerk.
Young jerk.
That movie, did you see that? Did you see Mini Saints? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Boy. Oh boy.
it was
Maroon.
it was not good. Yeah, Maroon. Yeah, exactly.
See, now you both understand the woeful feeling of having your favorite fictional characters brought to the big screen in a dreadful way.
What are you referring to?
Comic books
Oh.
being a
Which
nerd.
one? Which one was the worst for you?
The Mask.
Wait, I mean, I don't get that example. I don't get that example because all comic books are being brought to the screen in a wonderful, delightful way.
Yeah.
I've yet to be. I've yet to be disappointed.
Well, each one is doper than the last.
Mhm.
The Eternals
True,
were. I finally got to see the Eternals manifested in a way
They get better
that
and
like
better.
made my eyes
They
come
just keep
and
getting
my
better.
penis cry.
Mm.
I did have one last question
Last
before you
one.
let
Yes.
you go because
Sure.
I was thinking about it all day.
Mm.
It is springtime, and you know what that means. It's time
Love
for
is
us
in the
to
air.
pick the
That too.
song of the summer.
It's time to pick the
Oh,
song of
God.
the summer. Will, what's going to be the song of the summer?
Does it have to be a contemporary song?
No,
What is this?
no,
It's
not
this
even.
summer, but it can be any song.
Mm-hmm.
But what's it gonna be? What do you feel?
Okay. Just the song of the summer is going to be "Who Makes the Nazis" by The Fall.
Who makes the Nazis?
Wow.
That's going
all
to be
right.
bumping out of every. That's going to be lighting up every party, every club. You're going to be patio every car
and-
stereo. Yeah, You're
Brunchtime
gonna be hearing-
patios are going to be playing.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna hear it
you're gonna be. Yeah, you're gonna be
at
hearing
restaurants.
that back
It's
to
gonna be like-
kitchens.
it's gonna be like-
back to houses.
Yeah, it's going to be like "Get Lucky," the Pharrell.
Yeah,
death.
of course. Oh, God.
Of course.
Or Happy. Happy was a big.
Return of the Mac.
Yeah, we all remember walking around hearing.
Return of the Mac is a great song though. That's a great song. That's the song.
I think it might be time to come
That's
back.
a song I'd be pleased to hear.
Return of the Mac.
Oh, okay.
There you have it, folks. We finally have secured the official endorsement from Chapo Trap House's own Will Menaker of Mark Morrison's phenomenal single, Return of the Mac. Seminal single,
Yeah.
Return of the Mac.
We finally got it out of him. That's what this has been about. We finally got it.
We're sorry to do a little gotcha journalism like this.
Oh wait, actually,
Fuck.
it's gonna be The Fall, Who Makes the Nazis, and the main theme from Last of the Mohicans.
That's right. That's true.
Tight.
We're gonna be soaring.
We're gonna be soaring.